Hey guys, hello. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Hello ladies, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. Let me kind of adjust this. Hey Bula. Hey Porcelain. How are you ladies doing? Okay. Woo, so sorry I'm late. I am like rarely late to a live. Kind of slipped away from me the time. All right, so I'm just gonna hop right on into it. Um, yeah, so I'm just gonna hop right on into it. So the topic of this live is femininity welcomed in the Black community? This is a important question I wanted to ask because online we're seeing a lot of people in the Black community, particularly Black men and even other Black women, complain that there's not enough femininity in this community, that not enough Black women are feminine and, quote unquote, wifey material, right? So I've come across a few YouTube videos and just some other content, um, kind of answering the question of like what is going to happen if Black women are continuing to be just not feminine, not wifey material, what's going to happen to Black women, where they, going to go, and what's going to happen to the Black men that want to be with feminine women, where are they going to go? So an answer for the Black men is they want to go overseas, passport bros. And a lot of Black women support this because they support Black men, leaving. And I actually support any person who doesn't want to be here or around to go. Right? I support that. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with a passport bro. You should go. There are women in third world countries that need you, and you should be there for them, and leave women here to do what they want to do as well. So I have no problem with passport bros. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Now, for the Black women who are still here and working on their femininity, or trying to be more feminine, or just are and want a space where, or just happy that there's finally spaces for feminine traditional Black women to thrive. A lot of these ladies are just dating out. A lot of these ladies are um, a lot of these ladies are moving on to bigger and better things that they've never tried before or been introduced to before, and they're carrying on. Like, they don't believe that they need to leave the country to get anything started within their life. So that's kind of what I'm seeing of things right now. But I wanted to show you guys some other content, right, that I've come across. Apparently, there's there's some other Black women in YouTube who are claiming to be feminine and also claiming to help Black women become more feminine. However, they are not BWE. These women are not talking about dating interracially, and they want Black women to be more feminine and more wifey material, specifically for Black men. Hey, spirituality, welcome. Yeah, thank you, ladies, for subscribing. Any new subscribers, welcome. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. But yeah, so there's a lot of talks of Black women being feminine for Black men, and that's the only way that the Black community is going to be saved. If not, then Black men are going to go overseas. So there's two Black women content creators currently kind of going back and forth a little bit about how they want to save the Black community and how they want to get Black men from get them back from going overseas, or completely stop them from going altogether. And there's one black woman in that conversation who wants to stay and fight for the community, and then there's another black woman who claims to be pro black family and wants to bring black men and black women together, but at the same time um she is okay with black men going overseas, which is low key kind of strange to me. um I don't know. If you want black men, how can you also be okay with them leaving? The women who are okay with black men leaving are most likely the women who are also dating out. And by the way, this specific black female content creator doesn't want to date out. So she's okay with black men leaving, actually encourages it. She's not trying to date out. And she claims to want to bring black families together. So it's a real conundrum, in my opinion. Really just doesn't make any real sense. But the black woman who was more on the side of having black men stay in the US and bring black men and black women together, she hosted a live yesterday that I watched for like a little bit, and she got on the topic of femininity. And I actually really like the way that she was describing femininity. You guys probably know her or know of her. She is definitely not in BWE. She is totally on the pro black side of YouTube. I mean, she's not for interracial dating. She's not with the divesting, swirling, or anything like that. So I don't support those types of women on that front because I believe black women should do what they want. I don't believe a black woman should be pro black, as in black community. She should be pro what makes her happy and what's going to bring the best out of her and what's going to make her maintain her best. First and foremost, yes, spirituality. I will admit that these are what a lot of black women would call mammies. Honestly, they are. But she posed some pretty good points and questions in her live yesterday, about what femininity is and what it means to black men and what it means in the black community. So I wanted to play a little bit of it because the person she was kind of going back and forth with a little bit over it, um I've heard of him before. He's really really annoying, and he talks a lot of crap, that he's not, but on the flip side he's not about anything himself. And he's really really annoying. But I just want you guys to hear her response to the things that she was saying. So this is I am Courtney Michelle. Okay, people would consider her a pick me, a mammy. I mean, she's definitely on that side of YouTube, but in the past few days, she has not been getting along with those women in that space. She has not been, from what it seems to me, she hasn't been really getting along with the red pill space, because the red pill space is so, oh child, I'm not even sharing my the red pill space is so pro man, and women and children don't come before a man and his desires. That's what it seems to me in the red pill space, right? Red pill men can say whatever they want, that it's really just about waking men up to something, which is even more stupid. Because if you've been living on earth, hold on guys. Sorry, my work phone was blowing up. But if you've been living on earth, then what do you need to be woken up from, right? Like, what is it, especially when it comes to the opposite sex? Like, what is it about them? Do you need to have a movement to wake you up about them? Like, the red pill movement claims to wake men up about the realities of women, about true female nature. But to be honest, true female nature and the realities of womanhood and how we interacted with men has never been a secret. Women have desired and put their attention towards the same type of things since the beginning of time. which is in a general sense protection and being provided for, or some type of providing, whether you're doing it, a man's doing it, whatever. Safety and security has always seeked out by women since the beginning of time. So it's like red pill has a lot of guys in it that I don't know, from what it seems like to me in the comments that I read and the videos that I hear of red pill men, it seems like they're waking up from realizing that the everyday woman is not your mother. The everyday woman is not your therapist. And it seems like the red pill men have woken up to the reality that women want a man with resources, a man who can protect, a man who can lead. And in the event that a man is, falls short in those areas or is just not able to do any of that stuff, he's no longer very desirable. Now, that sounds harsh when it's said plainly like that, but in actuality, guys, women do want protectors, providers, men who are strong leaders, and men who can offer security. Okay, that's just point blank, period. This shouldn't be news. That's why I think the red pill community is full with a bunch of mommy issue boys, because they have to wake up and realize this. Like, oh my gosh, my girlfriend's not my mommy. My girlfriend's not my therapist. Like, no, your girlfriend's soon to be wife, whatever, is not a woman who just requires nothing. We all have roles in this world. Whatever type of role you choose, we have one. And when you have a role, that means you have to also produce something. There's something you have to give. Us as women know that eventually, if you deal with a man in a romantic way, us as women know that eventually being physically intimate is going to be on the table. Possibly you'll end up getting pregnant and having a child is also on the table. Like, there's no movement for women that involves us waking up to the realities of men. Like, there's no movement like that. No such movement as that. The movements that specifically us as Black women are having right now are movements, surrounding us having higher standards, boundaries, choosing better, and just kind of deprogramming from the brainwashing Black women have gone through in regards to how we should be able to live our lives, and just kind of deprogramming what we've been taught we need to do and actually going after what's best for us as individual people instead of what's best for a community or a group of somebody else. So I'm going to play this. Let me know if you can hear this. I kind of don't know where exactly I'm at in the video. Hold on. But this live is titled, Is Femininity Welcomed in the Black Community? Because she gave some really good points and she gave a good description of what femininity truly means. And the Black men, particularly the one with the little chess icon, just didn't understand. And even if you read the chat box, those Black men didn't get it either and also thought it was problematic.
One who's responsible.
Courtney, I got to jump off.
Okay, thank you, George. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I just want to say just one thing. I hear that a lot, and I would agree with that on one side, but on the other side, the hypocrisy to me, the hypocrisy part that I hear from us brothers is as if Black men are marriageable. In the house of dysfunction that we come from, a lot of us, not all, but a lot of us come from. In the back room, I sleep. In the middle room, my sister sleep. And if she's unmarriageable, I'm growing up in the same dysfunction she is. I may have went to school and got some education, but that don't mean that I've been raised up and trained to understand legacy and what it takes to be married, what it takes to raise a family. I think what gets missed here in this conversation is both of us are saying what we want, but we're not listening to each other. I don't think that the Black man in America is marriage material just as much as the Black woman. Neither one of us has been trained to be married. I've been married 18 years. Most people that's talking this stuff ain't married and ain't never been married and ain't even trying to be married. That's the part that gets me that I don't understand. It's not just coming directly at you, Game Changer. I'm just speaking on the talking points. And
have a wife and family. However, in
So I'm just trying to find the part where she describes femininity. A lot of the people on this panel didn't say anything that was too crazy that I would say I didn't agree with. Hold on.
in the Black community, for whatever reason, the fattest women on the planet are saying to the men that, hey, world.
Yeah.
And then go for it.
ahead. Well, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think what is missing with this conversation right now is the emphasis of just fat, fat, fat. If she's not fat, then what?
Oh, then
If
then
she's
you
not
look for the
fat,
other
then
qualities.
what?
Well,
We
then
have
you
to,
look for the other qualities. If she's
but
not,
what are they? And that's what I'm
well,
saying.
I listed them: feminine, friendly,
What is
supportive.
femininity?
Okay, so I found the part I wanted. The question where she asked, "What is femininity?" Because keep in mind that, he keeps, so earlier in the conversation, I'm not going to play this whole entire thing, but earlier in the conversation, she keeps on, or he keeps on talking about weight. And that is something a lot of Black men here on YouTube and online just say about Black women all the time. Weight, 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 obesity, need to lose weight, got to go to the gym, blah, 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 yada, yada. Um, Meanwhile, Black men are also very, very overweight, but I guess that's not included in the conversation. But nonetheless, that is something that they're always saying. So do Black men really know what femininity is? Because it's not about just your weight. It's not about just your weight. You can be a lot of different sizes and still embody a a persona of being, having etiquette, of being poised, of all these amazing things. And you don't have to be a size 4 in order to exemplify femininity.
Supportive. Well, you described that better than I can.
What,
Hold
hold on. What is your definition of femininity?
A person who's nurturing, supportive, motherly, but generally behave in a way that's consistent with the female nature.
Which is what?
Those things that I described.
So nurturing, motherly, that's all in one. So we're mothers. What else are we?
Well, no, a person could be a mother without necessarily being a good one.
Okay. So besides nurturing, what are we?
Okay, to avoid getting caught into semantics, let's just say fitness is on the list, and there's a bunch of other things depending on the individual that men seek.
Okay, so he's equating how you look and your fitness along with being motherly and nurturing as the state of a woman, as her, way of being femininity. But at the end of the day, there are women who are small, a dress size 4, and are not very feminine. They're not very nurturing. They're not very sweet and kind and humble, and, vice versa. So he thinks that how men see you, if it's in a positive light to them, or especially them as a collective and him as an individual, then that is how feminine you are. Like how you look to them equates to your level of femininity. And Courtney's going to explain that that's not being skinny, nurturing, and motherly is not the embodiment of being a woman. Like how you look and how good you look to a man is not the embodiment of being a woman, not by a long shot. And there are plenty of Black men running rampant through this space, bringing this narrative that, if as long as you look good and you wear pretty dresses, you're feminine.
So, but most of our women don't meet that first base criteria, which means that most Black American women are ill qualified. And this isn't a subjective thing. They're ill qualified for long-term relationships.
I want to try to get my answer here because I think
Peep how the guy in the bottom left looked at him like, what? Just got Oh my God, y'all. This is crazy.
this is important. I'm asking a man that you are specifically saying you want femininity in a woman.
Mhm.
And what's been consistent and when I ask is that you just say nurturing. Take
Okay.
nurturing out of that. What is the nature of a woman?
To be supportive to our man.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. She asked him a basic question. She asked him, what is, the nature of being a woman? And he said, being supportive to her man. From his answer, you can tell a lot of things. You can tell, number one, he considers women as objects. He doesn't see women as individuals, human beings, children of God, of the Most High, spiritual beings. He doesn't see a woman as that. He sees your very nature to be about supporting your man, putting your man above yourself and above all else. And that is, there's okay, that shouldn't be the only thing a woman does. That's not the only thing that a woman is good for to a man. She's also good for her own intellect, her own skills, how she cultivates a home with or without a man. In your single season, especially as a woman, you should also be anchoring down how you create a home. How do you make others that come into your home feel welcomed, feel comfortable, and how you yourself feel comfortable? Cleanliness is next to godliness, like how you keep your house, how you organize. And you don't need a man in order to figure that out, right? If you're able, especially even if you don't have your own place, you don't have the finances as a woman to have your own apartment, your bedroom, just wherever it is you call your sanctuary, where you go to sleep and lay your head at night, even if you have a roommate, okay? Your portion of the bed, even in college, right? When you had the dorms and you have your roommate across the room and you there, your portion should be a big reflection of who you are as a woman. When I was in college and I had the dorm rooms and stuff, oh my gosh, um my roommate was so sweet as a woman. Hey, Mocha Mommy. She was so sweet, but she was low key kind of dirty. Like, she would leave old dishes of ravioli and stuff by her windowsill and everything. It was really disgusting. I didn't clean her area just like she didn't clean mine. My area was very tidy. I folded up clothes. I made sure things were put away. I had everything kind of pretty and pink. Pink is my favorite color. So everything was pretty nice. Let's see the connection. So, I made sure that my area was comfortable, cozy, girly, and just overall a reflection of me. I had plenty of blankets and throws and pillows, and, I had candles. Like, I had things to kind of make my area feel very comfortable and cozy. And those are all those are all ways you can at least show the state of your womanhood through your actions and how you put yourself out there in the world in general. Especially in the best time to cultivate how you're going to do this is, in my opinion, when you are single, before you have your children, before you have your husband, and you figure out who you are as a woman and how you want to show up, your level up journey, the reprogramming of your mind. Once you're able to do all this stuff on your own, then you're able to attract a man who truly loves you for you. But if you listen to ding dongs like this one, who says the most important part of a woman's, the state of a woman's womanhood is how she supports her man, or how much she supports her man, nowhere within his statement does he talk about the individuality of a woman. Nowhere in his statement does he talk anything about her femininity and who she is and what makes her special. He talks about a woman like she's just an object, like she's just there for, to feed his existence, not there because, she's desired to be there for who she is. And the support, the submission, and the respect that you give to your man, that's all going to be a part of the program once everything else is in alignment. Like, it's easy for you to respect and submit to a man who you trust, who you admire, who's making you feel safe and secure. And it's hard for you to do that for a guy who like doesn't even see you, quote unquote, like doesn't see you as a woman?
I mean, it's very difficult because we're talking about a very broad thing that people generally accept. The definition of femininity is qualities and attribute regarded as characteristics of a woman. So yeah, the definition kind of it has the word in its definition. I get that. Nevertheless, we do seek unmasculine behavior, uncombative, supportive behavior from our women.
See, I think this is why I made the show.
Okay.
We have these YouTube talking points, but we
Mhm.
can't even define what femininity is. You describe attributes of femininity. That's feminine, but femininity and what women nature is, it is defined. And it's more than just being nurturing. It is being passive. It is emotional. It is women cry. It is softness. It is tenderness. It is being kind. It is being sympathetic. It is being creative. These are all attributes of femininity, but if we just holding it down as she fat or nurturing, and that's what we think femininity is wrong, then we are wrong. We're not getting it. And we say
Wait,
it's a
what?
nuance. Hold on, please.
So I really like what she said here. I really like her response to this. She actually listed legitimate qualities that tells you who a woman is and how our woman is usually. This the things that she said is if you have a man or not, if you're traditional or not, if you're Miss Boss chick or you're being provided for, you live on your own, or you live with your parents, you're a business owner, or you go to school and work a 9 to 5, whatever it is, she listed qualities that any woman can uphold, right? Which is why femininity is not about having a man. Not at all. It's a set of qualities that make a woman a woman. Period. I don't know why on here there are black men literally going around saying that a woman is not feminine if she doesn't have a man. A woman is not feminine if she's not married. And there's so many guys in my own comments that are saying crap like that. And femininity is not about a man, your mama, your cousin, your uncle, your brother. It's about you. It's about you as a woman. Who are you? How do you act? Why do you act this way? What are things you like to do? And how are you going to do them? Right? And I love how she said it's emotional, meaning women cry, women get in their feelings, right? And she, oh my gosh, the rest of this life, she really tackled what femininity is. And I've never really watched this woman. I came across this video just on my algorithm, like whatever. But she definitely says some things in this video that I don't hear the normal pick me's saying in the other channels. She's making it clear how women are, right? Which is why when the men want to shame and hold women accountable and really want you to feel some type of way for being who you want to be as a woman, it's like women aren't men. Women aren't supposed to go through the ringer of being held accountable and being dragged and then still expected to be nurturing and motherly and loving at the same time.
We're saying the nuance to this conversation is moving it where we quit talking these YouTube talking points. What is it? What does it look like? And at this point, I wholeheartedly believe that Black women don't know what it is, nor do Black men. And Black women are able to get on these panels and show you what you think femininity is. And that's me supporting a man.
Mhm.
That's me not being too loud or aggressive. And you think that's femininity. What I'm trying to say that it is not. It is more. A nature of a woman is more. We're indecisive. That's part of femininity.
Okay. And so is recognizing that. That being said, on the list of things that
Okay, so I'm also going to explain to you guys why him saying and also recognizing that is problematic. She literally said being indecisive as a woman is a normal thing to do. You not always having the first call in every single situation, especially if you have your man by your side, is okay, right? And so the fact that he's saying, oh, well, you need to recognize your indecisiveness, not, I mean, I don't want to say not really, but you recognize it by knowing that that's just a part of who you are as a woman, that you're going to be indecisive, but you don't have to recognize it in every single moment and situation it's happening. So this is pretty much like where the men step in. If you have a man and you're being indecisive, your man is usually the one who's going to lead in that instance and make the decision. Now, if you guys are compatible, he's going to make a decision that is in alignment with you, that you like. If you guys like the same things and you're trying to figure out where to eat, you don't know where to eat, your man is going to step in and say, let's go here. And you're going to be like, oh, that's really good. Yeah, let's do it. Like, that's how it's supposed to work. So when he says, oh, you're supposed to recognize that, I kind of took that as I'm supposed to recognize it so that I can correct it myself, or I'm supposed to recognize it to then let you know. Or can you recognize it since I'm your woman and you're the man leading the situation? So you recognize it and then you come up with the decision and you lead, which is what men do, especially if we're talking traditional relationships. So it's a lot of men who still kind of want to be treated like children, who don't want to step up to the plate and do what men are typically known to do. Men are known to dive into a situation, see where the indecisiveness is, see where the discombobulation is at, straighten it up and add some structure, add some discipline, and and lead and develop a course or whatever. They build the house type of thing, and women come in and create the home. Like instead, it's sounding like he wants, you know, I don't know. It's sounding like he wants to have men create a house, but he wants you to recognize the issues wrong with it or something, and then he can come in and fix it. It's like weird. I didn't get his response. And I think a lot of black men that think this way and have these types of responses don't really know what they're talking about. They just want to be right because they just secretly and just subconsciously are already at their wits' end with black women, even the ones that are actually trying to be with them, the ones that are actually feminine and trying to be with them, they're still at their wits' end with these types of women. And that's why they will just have these responses that will equal to them just wanting to be right, wanting to make you look foolish. And this girl, Courtney, is sitting here like, I'm trying to make this work between y'all. I'm not loud. I don't have 7 baby daddies. I'm not 300 pounds. I'm this woman physically you're saying you want, and my demeanor is poised, and I'm trying to be with you, and you're still trying to have me look like a fool on her show at that, on her own show, right? So a lot of black men in the black community, no, they don't welcome femininity. They also can't define it, like Courtney is saying. And she also says a lot of black women can't define femininity. And I'm not going to say she's wrong on that one. There are a lot of black women who just grew up in households where they couldn't thrive in their femininity, where they couldn't rest. They had to struggle, they had to be in survivor mode. And so they're just now trying to learn how to take care of themselves and develop their self-care routines. Just now learning that they can be the woman that they've dreamed about. And it doesn't have to be a hard process for you to get there.
Men require is fitness. And if she isn't that, then it doesn't really matter how feminine she is, Like, I don't care how feminine a fat chick is.
Well, that's you, game changer, and that's
No,
fine.
I
But
think
not,
that
I'm
most
not.
men, well, I think that most men don't. And nor
Well,
should
these women
they.
are getting slept with and getting babies by. So if
Oh,
you
good
telling me
God,
that
no.
these big women are not getting men, that's cap.
No, I agree with that. And I think that that's a problem. Definitely. I don't think.
So he definitely contradicted himself. He said that men don't care about fat feminine women. And then when she says, well, they are still getting a man at the end of the day, then he says, oh, Yeah, I agree with that. That they are getting men, they are getting slept with and impregnated. And if men didn't care about them, they definitely wouldn't even sleep with them. Men also want to say, like, oh, he'll sleep with you. That still doesn't mean he care. To sleep with someone, you have to have a level of care about that person to exchange bodily fluids. Yes, sleeping with someone still takes time, it still takes energy. And if you're willing to, give up that time and energy for someone you claim is ugly, there's something there. It's not, there's just no debating that. A lot of men want to say that there's nothing there. He just has an itch he wants to scratch. I just don't, I tend to not listen to these types of guys when they talk about their feelings, because men aren't emotional beings, not as emotional beings as women, rather. Everyone is an emotional being technically, but women are much more in tune with our emotions, especially mature women. Men tend to not really know their emotional side because they're stuck in their logical side all the time, and they're caving into their carnal desires a lot. At least these types of guys do. The ones who will say, I don't care about you, but I'm still gonna lay you down and even impregnate you. Like, these types of guys, they're double minded, they backtrack, they say a lot of things that just don't make any real sense. For you to say men don't care about fat women, but they're still going to sleep with them and create children with them, which means they're going to be tied down to them for the next 18 plus years through a child. If you don't care with someone, you're not even going to set yourself up to co-parent with them. That's just that's just what it is.
Think that brothers should embrace big women the way that they do, or even consider them as women the same way that we do. Most certainly not, and that is simply because an aspect of femininity, as we described, is the desire to please their mate. And if you're an extraordinarily fat person, then your desire to please your mate
Okay.
is
I'm
is
gonna
very, very low. You have a very, very low desire to please your mate. You know that
Right.
fat don't please me, but
well,
yet you're fatting your.
hold on, game changer. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
No, no worries, no worries.
respectfully, this is not going to be a show where I'm talking about fat women.
Oh, let's
I'm talking about, I want to talk about what femininity is.
okay.
And a big woman can be feminine, might not be your cup of tea. And so you don't even, if that's not your cup of tea, then you don't even have to talk about them. Talk about your
I
cup of tea.
won't. I won't.
So, but what femininity is, and what I'm saying, and the purpose of this show is that we don't know what it is in real life. We don't know what it is in real life because we haven't seen it modeled.
True.
And we have the ability, and women have the ability, and what we say is chameleons is trying to be a part that we think that men want. And what we're not getting is that that's fake, and that's being a chameleon, and that's being a pick me, because you're trying to be what men want instead of just being it. And once you be it,
Huh?
you attract it. And that's where we are getting it wrong as content creators, as women are not doing that. And I can admit to myself that that's what I was doing too. So I understood why people was calling a chameleon. And what I'm
Um,
saying is, once, hold on, I'm gonna let you go.
okay.
And this is the purpose of this show is, once you become, you get all those damn talking points, you want to move this conversation into real solutions and be real with people and honest. And you take that armor off of you and saying, I'm not doing this because I want a man, or I want a man to like me, or to look at me like I'm special. I am just going to be what God created me to be. Once women get in that mold, this space is not conducive for a lot of women. And it's not. There is nowhere in the world that a real feminine, loving, nice, kind woman can thrive in a space of men that's saying they don't want her,
Mhm.
of men that's bashing all the time Black women. There's nowhere in the world that a Black woman in her woman feminine state can take hours long of being told, y'all are fat. No one wants you. We are leaving you. You're not worthy. You hit the wall. Your baby mama. We can't. because our nature is not like that. And if we're going to be honest, we got to be true. And in order for women to be able to sit here and take it and smile, you either have to put on a mask of masculinity and do this thing like a man, or you don't give a fuck. World class, what you got for me?
Ooh, oh my gosh. I really do think she said a whole word in her little spiel there. I do. And this is why a lot of pick me's continue to get questioned in that male space as to why they're here. Are you genuinely trying to advocate for men? You don't have any women that even watch you. It's a bunch of men in your comments. Of course, women aren't going to watch these pick me girls that just want to co sign that black women are fat and got 7 baby mamas. What black woman who's actually trying to improve and go along her journey is going to be in sisterhood with another black woman who thinks it's conducive to constantly tell her about herself all of the time, and then for the whole world to see? A lot of these other pick me channels, they don't have content to actually help black women be better. The content is criticizing everything black women choose to do. There's one pick me content creator that stays talking about divestors and swirlers and just black women who have a preference for non black men. There's another content creator who continues to post videos about overweight black women having 10 kids and wanting a rich man. None of their content is about how to show up as a woman. They post content that other men are going to really love and like. They post content that other men who dislike women are going to relate to the most. They don't post content for women to actually learn anything from. And if they think that women are going to learn something from being called fat and don't end up like her, she got 7 baby mamas, to be honest, that's just not how you do it with women. You don't teach women things by talking crap about the next woman. You teach women things by, telling them exactly how to be as a woman in terms of what's going to get them inspired, what's going to get a woman to finally pay attention to how she's feeling and get her out of survivor mode. None of these pick me content creators that swear they're trying to bring the black man and black woman together, that swear they're trying to make black women more feminine, none of these black female content creators are doing anything to instruct black women on how to do that. They're just showing you bad examples time after time on on the black woman you don't want to be, right? And black men are eating this up because a lot of black men on here don't see the best in black women. They don't see black women as feminine. They don't see them as wives. They can't even define femininity. They only see black women as aggressive, big, and with all the babies. So those are the only types of images and videos and conversations that they want to engage in and put black women at the forefront of those images. That type of black woman is like the only one that they can identify with in terms of like the ultimate black woman in their eyes. And over here on the BWE side, the ultimate black woman over here is thriving. She takes care of herself. She has standards and boundaries. She she learns from every part of life. She learns from her mistakes. She learns from her wins. She learns from what's happening in other people's lives as well. I mean, she's in touch, she's in tune with what's going on, she's cultured, she's open. She opens up her options to different types of relationships, friendships, careers, places to travel. Like she does all types of things. The last thing she's doing is taking care of 7 babies. The last thing she's doing is, hanging out with Pookie and Ray Ray time and time again, going through the same crap and continuing to choose the wrong guy. That's the last thing the ultimate Black woman is doing over here, which is why Black men either come here to criticize and basically say this type of Black woman isn't real, or, they're obviously not here at all. And these pick me girls are also not over here because they don't want to celebrate true Black womanhood and what it can become and the positives of what it's. They want to tear it down. And I don't know why. I don't know why these women love to use methods of abuse as a way to teach, because that's pretty much what they're doing. That's pretty much what they're doing. So there's one more video that I wanted to show you guys. I'm gonna have to kind of search through this video really quick. I think I might drop the link because I haven't heard from you ladies in a while, and I don't know if anyone wants to come up and talk about femininity in the Black community, if you believe it's being accepted. Do Black people, particularly Black men, because they're the ones talking about how much they desire feminine Black women so badly, but when they're asked to define it, it's all about being with a man. Nothing about who this woman even is and what she does in her free time and who she is when she is on her own. They can't tell you anything about that. They can only tell you that she's just supports her man. She holds it down. She's a ride or die. She cooks and she cleans. And, she's sexy. Like, that's what they believe is a feminine woman. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to try to see if I can find the part that I'm talking about in this video. All right. I think I probably found the part, but I'm not sure this is the right area. Okay, so this is another Pick Me channel that I'm sure you guys have heard of. So they talked about a lot in this conversation, but the particular part of the conversation that I'm going to try to, hopefully I picked the right part. It was a part of the conversation on why she was questioning her on if she's so adamant on helping Black women, why are there so many Black men in your comments? And why on other BWE channels, it's just so easy for the Black woman over here to get into the BWE channels who are also about femininity or traditionalism or just better opening up your options, being a better woman, etc. And his question to her is why don't you have this audience? So I'm hoping that this is the correct part when he's asking her that question. So I might be skimming through it a little bit, but
no, I was going to ask, in your opinion, have you seen my content and would you say it's balanced?
What I would say about your content, to me, I received it as regurgitating male talking points as opposed to translating it in a way that you're 25-year-old target would be able to receive, right? So, and that's where, you know, my antennas, because one of the things that the manosphere uh, at one point was wary of was women coming into the space, and women coming into the space and turning themselves essentially into a female Derek Jackson for manosphere men. So women who aren't able to speak with nuance, women who aren't able to speak to a female audience that's going to be receptive to the message, but women that are really just going to be cathartic for men who might not be used to hearing certain points.
He really came on her channel to basically tell her that your content is for men. You claim to want to help the 25-year-old Black woman who wants marriage, and you claim to want to help her make sure she doesn't, you know, end up sleeping around and hit the wall and all these things. But your content is for the guys. The content you have, women don't like it. That's why your analytics is 80% dudes. Another man telling her this, the very type of man that she is like, I guess, also trying to make sure that Black women can get with. I don't know, like a Black man, basically. Telling her that your content is not useful to who you're trying to target because you're just trying to pander to men. You're just repeating talking points manosphere men have been saying, and you just dress it up in pink with lipstick on and dresses, and you think as long as you dress it up in pink that it's going to have the woman coming over here, but no, it's not, because women aren't as stupid as you think. Women actually do listen. Black women do listen, especially the most educated group in the Black community, Black women. We can still spot and see the BS, even if you put it in pink, even if you put it in lipstick. And Black women are not going to listen to you talk about the same crap the men are talking about in a way that literally the men have cultivated. But you have your pink backgrounds and your lipstick on and thinking, oh, well, the ladies will like this because I have it dressed up. And he's telling her, like, no, this ain't it. This ain't it. You do exactly what the guys do, but in pink.
From those women. So, what are you doing to speak to in your content? Speak to the people who need to hear it, because, you know, respectfully, there's really nothing that women need to say from for a male space, um, that a male space needs to hear. Like, you're not teaching men anything, and it doesn't seem like you're teaching women anything. So
Damn. I don't even think I watched this full part through. I watched a piece of it when she was kind of giving her response, but he told her, your channel, these pick me channels that are always criticizing Black women all the time, you're not teaching them anything. You're not teaching them to be feminine by talking crap about how she can't leave Pookie and Ray Ray alone, by talking crap about her weight. What are you teaching someone? Absolutely nothing. You're not teaching her how she can even get this high value Black man. Right? And I mean, to be a pick me girl and want to make a channel about this type of stuff, when the Black men, like Courtney said in the last clip I posted, how Courtney was saying that all the Black men do is talk crap about Black women all day. How can you expect us to remain feminine within this type of environment? We're going to have to put on our masculine armor as ladies in order to deal with Black men because they have such vitriol for Black women. How is the Black community going to come together? How is the Black community going to accept femininity when Black women are always going to have to remain in survivor mode all of the time?
Mm.
What's your angle?
Well, I am 100% teaching women things. That's my intention. That's what I do with my channel. I am not a part of the manosphere. That's why when Courtney Michelle asked me for the invitation, if women belong in the manosphere, I think that's a very, I'm not a part of it. I don't claim to be a part of it, at least. Of course, the things I say and some of my titles and stuff, the algorithm automatically just puts you there. I'm not talking to men on my channel. Like, things that I push on my channel is, stay fit, feminine friendly. That's what Kevin Samuel say. I have a fitness channel with workout routine, so I use that to do that.
I'm not talking to men, but only men watch me. See the double-mindedness in that? I don't talk to men, but majority of your viewers are guys. Who else are you talking to? You definitely talk to men. You're not teaching women anything, or else majority of women would be in your analytics. And you have another man trying to tell you this, and you aren't listening to him. Oh my God. And then she's also a part of the whole, I'm not in the manosphere crew, but I use all the manosphere talking points. I present manosphere rooted content on women, right? Where women are always made to look like the bad guy in every situation, but I'm not a part of the manosphere.
In terms of sharing my experience with going to school and getting a student loan debt for a degree that I don't want to use when I'm married and have kids, like, that's not wise. So encourage young girls to have foresight. That's like one of my biggest things, because that's one of my biggest regrets, right? Why are you doing what you're doing? And in 10 years from now, are you going to want to do that? Of course, I talk about baby mama isms, protect your womb. I push that. Like, if it's nothing you don't know on my channel, that, like, protect your womb, have a low body count as possible. And then the most important thing is to prepare yourself to be a wife. Like, if you know you want to be a wife, why go to school? Why focus on your career? Take wife classes, make sure you get a mentor, take coaches, and then also watch male content so you can understand men's perspective. In all of my videos, like, I mentioned at least one of those things. So I don't understand, like, I'm curious to hear like anything specific when you said, like, I'm repeating men talking point, or it doesn't seem like I'm talking to women. I'm curious to hear anything specifically that made you came up to that conclusion.
So she's claiming that her talking points are not coming from men, while she also admitted that Fit, Feminine, and Friendly came from Kevin Samuels, which she also says that she reiterates on her channel. So it's safe to say that she is also using other talking points from other men. And since we all know that the manosphere has been on YouTube for quite some time, people aren't dumb. They know that you've been using their content. The men know, they've been in this space. They see that you're new. You didn't just come up with everything on your own. You are most certainly taking content from men that have been in the manosphere since freaking 2013 and dressing it up in pink and repackaging it, claiming to be for women in 2022 and however else beyond. Right? To be a red pill type of woman and to be just a woman who's creating content in that space, you're not creating femininity content. You're creating content for men. You're using men's talking points, their thoughts, their experiences, and putting it in pink. You're not talking about the state of what it means to be a woman. You're not talking about being kind, having poise, pouring into yourself as a woman, keeping yourself up and together in every aspect of your life, not just fitness, but spiritual, mental, your skills, in so many different avenues. Like your content is for men because all you talk about is what women can do to get a man, keep a man, and all of these things. Nothing about that talks about how a woman can be her best self if you're always telling her about having a man. And I talk about relationships on my channel. I'm pro marriage. I definitely talk about it a lot, but I don't talk about it in a way for you to get a man. I talk about it in a way that it's a mindset, it's a lifestyle, being traditional, being married, legacy building. Like it's not about putting a man on a pedestal. It's about creating a life and having a certain type of life. If you want more of a traditional lifestyle, you want to be provided for by a man. You want to be protected by a man. You want to have a family and you want that family to be a two-parent household where you and your husband create children together and raise them together and watch them grow up together and instill principles and values in them together. It's way more than just about keeping and getting a man and staying skinny and pretty for a man. And that is what he's trying to tell her. You don't have content like that on your channel. You have content that is very shallow.
So yesterday, for example, I was invited to a YouTube event in Atlanta. It's for the YouTube Black Voices Fund. And one of the cool things, we got to talk to people who work for YouTube and people who work for Google. So we didn't necessarily just have to rely on the things that we know or the things that we had watched on YouTube as far as like how to read analytics and what means what. And basically, um, the viewers you get are not by happenstance. They're not a mistake, right? Like the reason why YouTube put me in the manosphere is because I titled the series Kevin Samuel Started This Conversation. And I knew as a consequence of that, and as a consequence of women being on the title, on the thumbnail, as a consequence of the way that the titles are laid out, the majority of my audience would be men. And my goal was to talk to men, more so to demonstrate how to talk to women in a way that you don't bust a blood vessel. And then as a secondary consequence, giving women the opportunity to observe themselves from a safe distance. Because one of the things I'm proud of is I get messages from women saying, I didn't realize that's how stupid I sounded, right? So with that being said, I know exactly what I'm doing. So going to the reason why this even happened, the bullying of Courtney Michelle, your newfound affinity for the Save Yourself movement. If your goal is truly to talk to women, why have your recent content posts been, in a sense, I think you can make a strong argument, pandering to a sector of the manosphere that just wants to hear themselves be right?
Child. And this is how these pick me's, this is why these pick me's are always getting questioned. Are you guys genuine? No, these pick me's are dangerous. Us Black women know this, which is why we choose to not be around them. They will boggle down and make Black women look stupid. And then at the end of the day, they will boggle down and use other men for what they got. They are she and women like her on this space are using male talking points to take money from men. The super chats, the subscribers, the viewers, the numbers, that all equals money here on YouTube. I don't get paid on my channel. I don't get monetized on my channel, okay? I have my own job. I have my own way of making money. I don't need YouTube to make money. I like coming on here and talking about things that Black women need to realize and see, figure out, and I love to celebrate Black womanhood in general. That's the whole premise of why I wanted to create my channel. And I was inspired by other Black women doing it before me. That's the number one thing as well. But I don't do this for money. I'm not pandering. I have said things and have lost subscribers in an instant and said other things and gained them. Like I'm not trying to make money off of this. If I do, that's cool. If I don't, that's fine, right? I have my own money. So it's these pick me girls that are using this space to make money, claiming that they're trying to help Black women. No, they are not, because they are only posting crazy videos and images of Black women every chance that they get. You have a man on here who just said himself, I haven't watched a lot of this guy's content personally, but and just going off of this conversation, so I don't know anything about this guy, but he is also letting her know, didn't even ask to be in the manosphere. But once I started talking about Kevin Samuels, I got pushed into the manosphere. So keep in mind that she also said that she pushes fit, feminine, and friendly. Who does that come from? That comes from freaking Kevin Samuels. So clearly she knows what she's doing. She's picking up and putting down the torch of manosphere when she wants, when it's convenient for her, dressing it up in pink, and then overall saying, I'm trying to help Black women. And then he presented her with the next question. If you are trying to help Black women get with Black men, if you are a Black woman yourself who is also single trying to be with a Black man, because she is, I think she's close to 30, or she is 30. So in her eyes, and according to her beliefs, because I don't believe this over here, but according to her beliefs and the men's beliefs, she's hit the wall. She doesn't have kids though, and she's never been married, but she's of an age that the very men that watch her would say is too old for marriage and kids, right? And he's telling her, if you're trying to get Black men and women together, you're trying to be with a Black man yourself, why are you pushing for the save yourself Black man movement and the passport bros? Because number one, what does that have to do with helping Black women? Number two, what does that have to do with helping Black people getting together? And mind you, she's not posting content about Black women dating outside of her race. They don't post content like that either. So what's going to be the options for you, sis? You're telling all the Black men to go overseas. You're not trying to date out. You're definitely not trying to help Black women get better, because you only show them in a bad light in the first place. So what's the tea? What's the scoop? What's the 411?
I would disagree that they just want to hear themselves be right. And I hear a lot of people accuse me of pandering a lot, and I'm really curious what pandering. What would you define as pandering? But before you answer that, let me answer your question. I advocate for Black men, because for so long society did not advocate for them. Right? For so long, dating has been so one-sided. It's like a man is supposed to go above and beyond. He's supposed to approach you and then take you out and then buy you flowers and do this and do that. And then if you're talking about a Black man who has to work twice as hard to get half the praise in society, and then he comes home to a combative, all my life I gotta fight Black woman, because that's how we were raised to be, myself included. So I advocate for Black men for that reason, to highlight just how selfish we can be sometimes. I was selfish too in my previous relationships. But I don't think you answered my question in terms of like specifically what would make you jump to the conclusion that I'm only repeating male talking points.
No, I took some time to watch your content.
Okay, first of all, he did answer your question as to why he thinks you use male talking points, because you quite literally even admitted yourself, said that you grab content from other male content creators and you keep repeating it in your content. And she still didn't answer his question. She basically said, I advocate for Black men and save yourself because they've been blah, 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 underserved in communities and attacked like innocent little, kittens that can't help themselves and they have to work twice as hard and yada, yada, yada. She didn't answer the question as to how is this helping Black women be more feminine and get a man, and how is this going to bring Black families together, which is what she claims she started her channel on, what she still even talks about in her content to this day. And she's just all over the place. And this is honestly the definition of a mammy. I mean, we know this already, but she's not making any sense. And I think I don't know this guy. Once again, I haven't watched his content, but I don't think this guy is an idiot. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. He's got her to basically admit that she quite literally has repeated Kevin Samuels' talking points, that she does use the titles, the icons that manosphere content creators use. Um, he's also gotten her to admit that she advocates for Black men. So he's basically gotten her to admit that she does not help Black women reach new highs in femininity. She is not trying to help Black men and women come together. And she just admitted all of that herself. And then she wants to say, I don't know how I'm pandering. I don't know how I'm using content from the manosphere. You're using their content because you didn't come up with this yourself. These talking points have been in the manosphere for years. You just got here. Where else are you getting this from? You're not thinking about this on your own. You're copying talking points, and it's okay. Like, you're not original. And this is why the men are questioning, are you genuine? Because you're not coming up with original content. You're not helping Black women as a Black woman. You're not even trying to bring Black families together because you're advocating for the men in the community you say you want to stay together. You're advocating for those men to go overseas to find wives in the slums of Thailand and Brazil. And she doesn't get it. She's clearly not listening. She clearly has some, what is it? Dissonance going on, just some lack of self-awareness and just overall disconnection. I don't understand how you don't get this. It boggles my mind. Like, this is crazy. And this is why Courtney Michelle, if I had to choose between which pick me content creator may be somewhat genuine, is trying to teach something, it's probably Courtney Michelle. Because I just showed you guys a clip where she actually listed qualities of femininity, and she at least did that. She wasn't talking and centering on getting a man. She also addressed the importance of how a woman should remain in her being, in who she is, with or without a husband, with or without a Black man. But these women, these other ones, they don't do that. It's all about Black men and putting them on a pedestal. And this Black man is saying, well, how is that going to help Black women improve themselves as far as character, elegance, poise, raising children, being a wife? How is putting Black men at the forefront of their brains going to help them be better human beings? How? And she doesn't have an answer as to how. All she can say is, well, Black men have always had the shorter end of the stick, so I'm going to advocate for them. She doesn't have an answer for Black women because that was never her intentions. And this is why Black men don't believe she's genuine and know she's pandering. Like, duh, that's what pandering is. You're like speaking things that sound good to the people that, are hurt, or to the people that are, right in front of you. You're not speaking the truth. You're not actually helping with anything. You're just affirming all day and night. You're not teaching.
I again, it was clear that you were talking to men. I didn't, as somebody who talks to. Go ahead.
Anything specifically that stood out that would be clear that I'm talking to men?
No, I'm talking about the topic choices. I'm talking about the tone. I'm talking about the jokes, the big bone, all the funny shit. Like, we understand who you're talking to.
It's so funny you say that, because I've been intentionally for months now been only, like, when I see females in my chat, highlight their comments. And if I don't see a female, then I'll highlight a man. I've been intentionally prioritizing women in my chat. Like, I haven't made a male a moderator for a long time now because of that reason. Because I find that that's a very common pushback, but then I find that that's never a logical pushback, because it's always subjective. You're like, for example, you said my tone is as if I'm talking to men. Like, this is the exact same tone I talk all the time. If I have a female panelist up here, if I have a male panelist up here, I use the same tone. And then in terms of the title, my the first video that actually got me recognized by Danica Marie was when I titled it what is it, like 5 things that will make you more feminine or something, or no, men feel loved when they feel needed. And ever since then, all my videos have been directed to, as I said, teaching or sharing what I've been learning about men's perspective. So I really don't know what else I can do to convince people with your belief.
This is what I would say. I would say
She's still not understanding him. That's the problem. You're trying to share men's perspective and you are a female. You need to be sharing a female's perspective. You need to be talking about what it means to be a woman, not what men think and where men are coming from. You're not a man. That's not your place. It will never be your place because you're going to forever be a woman. And that's what he is trying to tell her. Your titles, your topics, like they're all centered on what men think and their perspective and how men feel. Nothing is centered on how women feel, how women think. And at least the women that are wives, the women who are married to Black men, if that's your target. Like, if that's your target, that's what needs to be talked about. That's what needs to happen. Stop talking about how men feel about stuff and at the same time claim you're trying to help women improve. How am I going to improve knowing what a man thinks? You don't think I'm going to improve better if I know how to carry myself as a woman, if I know how confident women think, if I know how women that are able to run successful homes with their husband and with their kids think? I'm going to learn better from those things. I'm not going to learn how to be a better woman from understanding how fat a lot of Black women are and how many baby mamas they have. And that's what he's trying to explain to her. It's driving me wild that she's not seeing this. This is crazy. And then she's trying to play all these little semantic type of things like, oh, well, my icons are pink and my moderators are female and I only highlight female comments in my live streams. So clearly I'm helping women. Like, no, you're not. You're not. You're bringing attention that there's women on your channel, the ones that do show up, which she says is clearly not as much. So when she finally sees a woman shows up, she highlights it. But for the most part, men are consistently showing up to your channel because you are talking about something that men relate to the most. Men and women are not the same. Men and women are not going to understand and learn things the same way, which is why when I showed the clip of Courtney Michelle earlier, another important thing she said is this space to be a red pill pick me girl, you cannot be feminine in that space. You have to put on your armor of masculinity in that space to survive. To survive men always wanting to talk crap about Black women all the time. To survive men always wanting to hold Black women accountable for whatever. And always remember you're gonna hit the wall. Better knuckle down. Now, once again, I don't watch these content creators on the regular. I definitely don't watch Courtney Michelle on the regular, but I did come across that live she did yesterday. And that little piece that I showed was a great answer to the question on what is femininity and her explaining why femininity just can't be taught in the Black manosphere because it's not for that space. So when you have these girls in the Black manosphere that claim to be for Black women, trying to help Black women, no, you ain't, because you talk nothing about what it means to be a woman, which is what Courtney said in her little clip that I played. Instead, you talk about the vitriol, that Black men can identify with, and you talk about that on your channel, and that's why you don't have female viewers.
If you were really, if you really wanted to exact change, this is what I would say. I would say, number one, you can help provide men with a more nuanced understanding of women. I think that's what you can add to the space.
Can
But
I push back on that a bit?
yeah, sure. After I finish, but understand.
That's really wild. Like he told her you can start talking about what women think and how women act and what the nuance that women bring to the table. And she's like, "Can I push back on that? As a woman, I don't want to talk about what women think. I want to continue to talk about what men think because men are the ones who are suffering. And as a woman, I understand what a man thinks the most, and I need to portray it properly." Like, what? I cannot. If a man told me, "Hey, I would love your female perspective," I would never say, "You know what? Sorry, John. I'm not giving you my female perspective as a woman. I can only give you the male perspective right now. So that is what I'm going to do." Like, what the hell? He would look at me like, "Huh?"
Understanding that the majority of your audience is men who just want to hear you say what they think. What are you doing with that information past just playing to it?
So I can't control anybody who click on my video, and I can't control anybody who decides to watch my videos. What I can do is
But yes,
control,
you
like,
can. You
I
can by
can
how you
control.
title and the thumbnails.
Mhm.
Yes.
No, here
YouTube,
what
YouTube currently what they do, and this is coming straight from the Google people, what they do is they try to match videos with audiences, right? So they go based on your thumbnail, they go based on your title. So again, um, if you were really interested in talking to women, I would figure out who is actually talking to women. What are their thumbnails saying? What are their titles saying? And then how can I move closer to that as opposed to making my own version of O'Shea Duke Jackson's thumbnail or Lapeef Network's thumbnail? Because then it seems like you're trying to be in this space.
Yeah, so I can't help like who clicks on my videos in terms of like when I post a video, I can tell YouTube men only or
Mhm.
female only. But what I can do is like alter my channel. I try to make it pink as possible, pink and purple
Mhm.
with everything, and I try to make it as girly as possible.
Mhm.
In terms of like my time.
He's literally laughing at her. Like, he literally told her, so technically, you know, she's right. You can't control who comes to your channel. I have weirdos come to my channel. I can't control that. But I can control not only my colors and my lipstick and my icons, I can also control what I talk about. Yeah. I can also control what I choose to say. I can also control how I title my videos, my icons, right? My icons are literally of all Black women on vacation with their glass of wine looking flawless, or with their handsome non-black man. If I'm making especially if I'm making a video on interracial dating, I control all of that, which is how I attracted a lot of swirlers to my channel, a lot of divested Black women to my channel. I've attracted a lot of Black women that just want to level up in general. They'll whatever it is, they just want to level up. Like, I've attracted all of that to my channel. I have some men that come because they just be on some weirdo incel type stuff. But for the most part, my analytics is literally 92% women. Okay. For the certain age groups. I actually think my analytics for men has grown. I haven't checked it in months, guys, but I think it has grown. But I will tell you, I have a lot of non-black men that come to my channel as well because of, again, my icons. I have white guys with Black girls in my icons. So I have white men, Hispanic men that also leave comments on my videos to say, for the most part, yes, like, we love to date interracially too. We love Black women. I've had non-black men message me that. So you absolutely can, as a person who's posting anything on the internet, you absolutely control the type of people who are most attracted to your content, because you can post certain things to um bring in an audience. You post certain things that's attractive to that audience, so you can control it from that aspect. You can't control the weirdos and the naysayers and just in general anyone else, but you can control what you do on your end. And he's not really answering her questions. She's basically telling him, I'm not going to change my rhetoric. Like, I'm going to continue to speak from a male's perspective, hoping that a bunch of women will understand. I'm going to speak from a male's perspective as a woman, trying to attract lots of other women to be on board. And I'm going to advocate for men to save themselves while still wanting to be with a black man myself and want to have a black family. But I'm still going to post resources for black men to leave the country and find wives and any other kind of woman that just doesn't look like me. Like, that's what she's telling him. And he's looking at her like, you sound crazy. Like, you don't sound like a woman who's genuine about anything. You sound like a woman who's going with the flow, who's going with the trends, who's going where the money is. You're trying to grow your subscribership because you're trying to catch a whole lick off of YouTube. You're not trying to help anyone. And these pick me girls, black women stay away from them for a reason. They're dangerous. They don't care about black women. They really don't care about black men. They just want to tell black men what they want to hear to squeeze the money out of them. Because in BWE space, to be honest, you don't really make a lot of money in the BWE space. I don't make any money here. But this is a woman's space. Okay, women aren't the types in general, no matter the race, to just hand out cash to people. Usually it's men that will send you money for your nails, your hair, and whatever. It's men that are very, much more open to sending money. So if you make content for men, you're more likely going to make more money, because men are much more generous creatures than women are. Women like to receive things, it's just in general, not within our nature. So these pick me girls saw that lick and they was like, well, I'm cute, I'm pretty, I can put on lipstick, and I can say everything a man wants to hear. Bet. Payday. Payday. But guys like him are trying to, I guess, help
titles as if like, oh, this is going to get a man's attention. But one thing I realized that a lot of people who give that pushback, a criticism that they can never give me is that I show my body on YouTube, and that's intentional because
that's not what it's about.
Because I know that there are a lot of men watching me. So that's something I do to not attract more men. I try to be as covered up as possible and as professional as possible. I don't flirt, I don't giggle, I don't, do those things to keep the conversation that even though, yes, men are clicking, because men are raising daughters too. I had a call the other day. He said, he watches my content so he can, pass it down to his daughter. Men are raising daughters too.
It's really crazy to me how everything he's trying to tell her is going over her head. Like, she's really talking about her color scheme, and she doesn't understand why she attracts men because everything is pink. She's fully dressed. She's not out here half naked online. I don't know why I'm attracting men. And then she goes on to say, but some men watch me because they have daughters. Why would a man who's really trying to help raise his daughter, is genuinely concerned about his daughter being the best woman, why would he go to a channel that's catered to advocating for men, or whose talking points are trying to be in a way where they can understand men more? There are men on my channel as well, and I have had fathers come on my channel as well to hear exactly what this guy is trying to tell her she should do, which is to hear the nuances, the specific things that women think in their heads that aren't very appealing and attractive to men, as it shouldn't be, because men are men, they're not women. There's just things that they're not supposed to understand or even get on board with. They're not women, and it's fine. I make content for ladies. Okay. I don't care if men come over here, but at the end of the day, I'm already aware they're not going to come over here like that because it's not for them. And so I do have men that are fathers that have also messaged me and commented on videos and have said, I really enjoyed watching this. I know this is for ladies, but I have a daughter and I'm trying to make sure that, she's raised right and whatever. Maybe he's a single dad and whatever, and he's constantly trying to learn more about the female perspective to instill that into his daughter. He's trying to hear from feminine women, traditional women, single and married, so that he's able to instill certain things into his daughter, for every stage of her life, right? And he's telling her that's what you need to start doing. She's literally saying no. She wants to continue to mammy for the black man because he's had no type of, um, he hasn't had any type of allyship. A black man telling her, stop mammying for us. Stop mammying for us and bring in the female perspective. And she's just like, what do you mean? Like, she just doesn't get it. And it's insane.
So, I don't want it to be like, oh, it's women only. As I said, I tried my best to moving forward. I decided this back in December, moving forward, only female mods. Only female mods will be on my channel. I try to make it pretty and pink. Like I try to, I do what I can do. But I mean, if men support my content, then they just support my content.
So one of the things that one of the things that comes up sometimes when I'm talking to women, they talk about this idea of a pick me, right? And initially, I used to be I used to really push back at that concept because we're supposed to be pick me's, we're supposed to be desired and desirable to the opposite sex. Because I want a woman, women want a man, so you should be pick me. However, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier, when you get into the nuances of what women are talking about when they're categorizing a pick me, they're talking about, and so the men can understand, they're talking about that homeboy who only wants to walk around with his shirt off when you have company. They're talking about that homeboy who only wants to play fight when you have a woman over, or when girls come around, now they want to joke and now they want to make themselves look and seem like the better option. And the reality is that women do that. Like, there are women who their entire shtick is to make themselves look better than other women, as opposed to being in community with other women and positively influencing the behavior of other women. So
Damn. Did he just low key call her a pick me on her own channel? He says, you're a pick me because you continuously want to make black women look stupid and you want to sit up here in your cute makeup and lipstick and make yourself look good, but you don't want to show imagery of black women looking just as good as you. You only want to show these fat 304s, these fat baby mamas of 7 on your channel, which is what pick me's do. They want to make other women look stupid in front of other men and make themselves look good. This is the part where I came in to the live and actually started watching. And I don't know, once again, I've never watched a lot of this guy's content before. But he's not wrong in this particular conversation they're having right now. I agree with him on this. Like, he sees through the BS. He sees, like, this is why you are, no wonder why women don't want to watch you. You want to paint yourself to be better. And then on top of that, you don't want to have other black women that look just as good as you or even better than you on here. You don't want to celebrate with them. You don't want to be in sisterhood with them. Once again, on my channel, on my icons, pictures that I be having, black women look exquisite. in my videos, my regular videos, the Black women I post are beautiful, perfect hair, perfect skin, perfect style, right? I show the best of the best Black women on my channel. I'm not gonna show Black women who have 400 pounds and are at the welfare office. Not that I hate that type of Black woman or something, but that is not what I consider to be the best of the best Black woman. I consider a Black woman who takes care of herself, who has it going on to the point where she financially she's secure by her man, by herself, family, whatever. She has resources attainable. She doesn't need to go to the government. That is my ideal of the best Black woman. That is what I have heard other Black women in this space also confirm is the best of the best Black woman. That's what I show on my channel. I want to celebrate the best of the best. She wants to shed light on the worst of the worst, quote unquote. She wants to shed light on Black women that apparently no one else wants. While she looks perfect in her lipstick and her good lighting and her perfect contour foundation, but the other Black women look a mess. And a lot of men who are saying what he's saying, a lot of men will pay attention to this. They will find it weird that you don't like to celebrate other women as a woman. Real high value men, quote unquote high value men, I know that term is in this space, but I'm just saying it to, real high value men, real men of quality, they want a woman who knows how to navigate through community properly. She's not at odds with other women on the low or any pettiness going on. All right. Like I've said before on my channel, traditionally and historically, women who, before the times women could work and have a bank account and all that, way back in the day, village type of times, women worked together in community, especially when men went to war and when men were out hunting in the field and all that stuff. Women worked together in the communities to cultivate communities, to bring children together. Like that's not a new concept. So if you can't get along in just basic celebration with women that look like you, instead you have to be around a bunch of people that no one really likes so that you can outshine everyone, and you do that intentionally, that is a character issue. But he's not done. To be honest, he kind of talks really slow, but he is making some good points, and he's not done. He says a lot more. That's the correct part.
I'm looking at your page right now, and I see exposed chameleon. Chameleon is not a term that women use. When I see your children come first,
Look at her face.
That's going to get men to click on it. When I see save your community, Black men, stop bashing, men's best interest, even the pretty in pink stuff, like I said, it is appealing to a guy who might not be super in community with women in real life, and you position yourself as this beacon of femininity.
He's saying your content is only attractive to men who are incels. Your content is attractive to men who aren't in community with women in real life, aka incels. Oh my God.
Look at how much better I am than the masses of the mass delegate. And that's what I'm saying is irresponsible. Because again, you're not talking to women. You're not helping men understand women better. And you're exploiting a community. Unfortunately, this is the reality. You're exploiting a large community of men who are not in community with women in real life. And that's why I'm saying it's irresponsible, because even when you say to me, I can't control who clicks on my video, I just explain how you can. You, as a creator, you title stuff and you thumbnail stuff specific ways to get specific people to click, at least if you want to be successful on YouTube. So, what am I missing?
One, I am just successful on YouTube. So what I've been doing, I've been, I've obviously been doing right, and I weigh my success based on the females that I'm reaching. So as I said, based on my analytics, I'm reaching a significant amount of female. I do respect your opinion in terms of like my page and stuff. I don't think though it's a very logical point that you're coming from.
Child, so now she's about to pull the "you're being emotional." How is he being emotional? Number one, he's completely stoic throughout this whole conversation. You have to be a weirdo to think he's crying or something right now. I don't know how she came to the conclusion, "Oh, I don't think you're speaking logically." So he's speaking emotionally or from a place of emotion or assumptions. He's literally telling you what you're doing. We can all see it. It's on your page. None of us are blind. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. What? I haven't been in the little pick meville in a while, and I didn't know it's gotten this bad, y'all. You have one quote unquote pick me, Courtney, who I showed earlier, who's actually trying to teach femininity, which is why she was able to list a lot of qualities that don't have to do with you having a man that makes you a feminine woman, because it doesn't have to do with you having a man or your dress size. She literally listed that on her channel. The black men on there, especially one particular black man, gave her pushback and said, okay, well, at the end of the day, it's about how you look and if you're a ride or die. Right? So you have her. And then you have this one who's not talking anything about that. She just posts black women looking their worst. She's talking about things that have been circulated through the manosphere for the past few years, claiming she I guess didn't know that, or she's just coming up with it herself or something, which is crazy, while she still admits that she supports fit, feminine, and friendly, and also admitted that that's a term Kevin Samuels came up with. And she's being told about herself by another black man who is confused as to how she can want to help black women while advocating for black men. Want to help black women be more feminine, but yet you're being a social justice warrior for a group of men who don't have close proximity to women in the first place, aka incels. This black man is confused. Why do you care about incels so much? You're a black woman. It's not normal for you to want to care about incels so much. A feminine woman doesn't care about incels. I'm sorry. A feminine woman is trying to focus on her and his. I like everybody else. Like, what the hell, feminine or not, masculine? Like, you're not worried about stuff like that. You're really not. It's crazy how she doesn't understand what he's saying and then has the nerve to say he's not talking logically. What? Oh my gosh.
Like, to me, it's like almost as if you're encouraging me to stay in that sisterhood and stay loyal to women, so I'll get more women. I find female.
Yes, that's exactly what he's telling you to do. That's exactly what he's telling you to do. He's telling you to create a channel that garners sisterhood in black women so that they can feel support and encouragement to be their best. That's exactly what he's telling you to do so that they can attract the best man for the job. That's exactly what he's telling you to do. And she literally is saying, no. Oh my God. I don't want to create a sisterhood. I want to point out the problems. I want to be the example of how you should look and how you should be. And that is what I believe is not only going to help black women, but most importantly, it's going to help black men. Like what? Oh my God.
Male content creators who have a lot of female support, they're still in this lack of accountability. And I am better than many women because I am, right? As I said earlier, there are standards, there are structures. You are better than the average man who is robbing the store right now, right?
Oh my God. So she just admitted, that she is a pick me, because that's how pick me's think, guys. They think and walk around, and actually, most importantly though, they show through their actions, which she does through her channel, that she's better than everyone else. I don't sit here and actually will announce out of my mouth that I'm better than some other Black woman. I don't think I'm quote unquote better than the Black woman who is in need at the welfare office. I don't think I'm better than her. I think I'm blessed, I'm happy, and I work hard. And, I'm a spiritual woman. So, I think that, I send well wishes to everyone, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'm just better, because I don't see Black women as my enemy. And I don't see Black women as a stepping stool that I need to use to be better and feel good about myself. I don't believe I need to do that. And I don't believe I need to have a channel where that is what's going on in order for me to attract viewers. I don't criticize women on my channel. I may say, this is what she did wrong. And I do bring up TikToks and things where women are saying certain things. And, but even when I do that, the Black women are still like, they don't look quote unquote worse than me. Like, I brought up a TikTok video where the Black woman was absolutely gorgeous, but she was having a problem in her love life or whatever. So I talked about some areas that she's probably going wrong. And in that video, I just basically said she's not opening up her options, because she most likely wasn't. So even when I do criticize, quote unquote, criticize a Black woman on my channel, there's always still some room where there's hope, there's encouragement, there's inspiration. I don't criticize Black women to the point where I make them feel like that's it, you hit the wall, it's over. Oh well, to the welfare office you go, get a dog, die alone. Like, I don't talk like that on my channel to Black women, to any woman. I don't talk like that on my channel. I don't have to. For what? But she wants to treat Black women like they're men. She wants to attack Black women, make them feel bad, beat them down, expect them to take it, and then hope that, or just at least assume. I don't even think she hopes. She just assumes that that's going to work to help Black women be better. But then at the end of the day, she advocates for Black men going overseas. So you want all these Black women to be better and amazing for Black men who are trying to marry women from the slums in Brazil? What's the point? That's worth it to you? That's really worth it to you? Like, this is the type of stuff, and I like, really honestly, kudos to this guy. Like, I don't know the rest of his content, so I'm not talking about who he is as a content creator. I'm talking about this conversation, and he's really putting her under the fire of like, why are you doing this? This is not helping. This is not helping anything. It's crazy how she doesn't get this. And I guess, honestly, I guess maybe she does, because he told her, you need to create a channel circulating around sisterhood that will help encourage, inspire Black women to be better, which then they can attract the best man for the job. And she literally sat there and told him no. Like, what the hell?
You are better than the man
But
who is
the average
abusing.
man is not robbing.
I'm sorry. I mean the average man who robs stores. So the average robber, not the average man robs store.
But that doesn't mean anything. We're talking about,
no.
because you
finish.
made the statement that you're better than the average woman, and then you said I'm better than the average robber. Sure, I'm better than the average robber, but I'm not better than the average man. Those are two different statements.
You are better than a man who is currently abusing his kids right now, or who is neglecting his kids, or you are better than that. I am better
That's
than
not the average. That's not the average man.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say average man. You are better than the man who is abusing his kids right now. I am better than the woman who is having kids out of wedlock, who's destroying the household and who's negatively affecting the community. Now, a woman like that is going to look at me and think that I'm acting as if I'm better than her because I don't have kids out of wedlock. I take accountability. I want to learn men's perspectives to understand their perspective so I can work with a man and encourage more young girls to work with a man so we can partner up, see families, and start better communities, rebuild better communities. If a woman does not fall in that category, it is going to be perceived that I'm better than her. Yes, I am better than her. It just is what it is. So that whole pick me term, I really don't care. Whatever they want to call it or whatever they want to call me. I think we have this mindset where, like, if you were to know that you're better, if you were to admit that you're better, that's something negative, but it really isn't. And it's not. There's nothing.
But you're not better. If you guys know about this particular content creator, she's also, like I said earlier, this is what she says on her own channel, though, that she's at 30, she's not married. She even made another video sometime before this saying that she may not ever get married. You're not better. Like, you're not better. If the men were able to read your situation on paper, they would put you in the leftover woman category. You're not better. It's sad that she said she's better than women who are becoming mothers, because single or in a relationship, like, I'm pro motherhood. I love when women have children. Of course, it should be in the union of a marriage because I'm pro marriage. But motherhood is amazing for the women who want it, who it happens to them, and they decide to stick with it. I think motherhood is great. I will never demonize a woman for being a mother. That's the most natural thing that can happen to a woman is you have a child. Like, what the hell? Why do we live in a time where people are shaming women, the only people in the world who can do so, for having a baby? They're shaming women for having children like someone else can do it. Like a dinosaur can do it or something. Like a whale can pop out a human baby or something. Like, no, only a human female can pop out a baby. So why is this something that we are shaming women for? No one else is going to do it. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but you're not better for shaming women for doing something that's natural to their bodies, in my opinion. If you get pregnant and you leave the baby alone, you're not, the baby is naturally going to develop in your body and you're going to give birth. That's just what happens. It's totally natural, normal. It's been happening since the beginning of time. It's nothing new. So, but I guess apparently she thinks she's better than the woman who's doing that out of wedlock at that. Meanwhile, she's not married. She would have some flack if she was a mother who was married and didn't have any kids out of wedlock, but she's neither. She don't got kids and she's not married. So no, you're not better. You're not better. And I didn't know that having children means the community is going haywire. Last I checked, men that don't want to take care of those children is what makes a community go haywire. Men that want to abandon their families is what makes a community go haywire, not women having kids. Not women having children. So this girl thinks that she is cream of the crop, but there's no ring on her finger. She has all these men watching her every time she goes live, and not one of them has any of them offered to fly her out. Has any offered to fly to her and wife her up? She literally made a video a few days ago, or a little bit before this one, saying that she may never get married. For her to post that, I know there ain't no men trying to fly her out or fly to her and court her seriously for marriage. Since you're so better and you're so perfect, where's your ring? Where's your ring? Where's your kingdom husband? Where's your black man who wants to save you instead of himself? Oh, is he not here? Like, that's why this guy is saying, why are you advocating for men? At the end of the day, what he's really saying is you're better off creating a sisterhood because these men don't care about you. They're just obsessed with you because they're incels and they're not around women like that. That's really what I believe he wants to say to her. So I can't believe she doesn't get it.
Nothing negative about being better than
Mhm.
somebody who is destroying a community.
Okay. So initially you stated that your goal is to speak to younger women. Um, Now you're saying that you can't control who you speak to. So if that's the case, if you're unable to achieve your goal, why are you on YouTube? What are you doing?
Because
Like, what's the new goal?
it's better if I can speak to one younger woman, even though I can't
Mhm.
control. So if
Mhm.
out of 100 people that I can speak to, 90
Mhm.
are men and one is a younger woman, achieve my
Mhm.
goal of speaking to a younger woman.
Well, I mean, but the thing is, you could be speaking to more younger women if you change your titles, if you change your subject matter, if you change your approach. But you're choosing to just hope for the 1%.
And because I don't have to I shouldn't have to sugarcoat things or walk on
Mm,
eggshells, or you know as we talk about the big bone, instead of saying fat, say big bone. I reach
mm,
who want to listen. I don't pander to people's emotions or anything like that. I realize that some people do that. That's just not how I am. And if I was to start doing that, then I wouldn't be genuine to myself. So that's why it says, like, even if
So,
it's the one who,
mhm.
even if it's the one who hear me, where you're trying to get to, like you're saying, I should alter myself so my
No,
message can
no,
reach further.
mm-mm.
But
No. I'm just saying, like, there's a disconnect between what you claim you're trying to do and what it is that you're actually doing, right?
I
Because you
think I'm
initially
doing what I am claiming that
No,
I'm
because
doing, though.
initially you claimed to, I came on YouTube because I wanted to talk to women like me.
Mhm.
However, you're not talking to women like you're
How-
not even in the
Why?
space to talk
But
to
why would you
women.
say why would you say that I'm not talking to women like me when I said
I
that there's
mean,
a significant amount of
Girl, what the hell? Why are you even on YouTube if you don't? Oh, God. Man. Oh my gosh. She would rather continue talking to men majority of the time than to change her message to make it more from the woman's perspective, which um she claims it's her pandering and being emotional. You're a woman. You're not a man. You're not a man. You are emotional. If you want to deny that part of your nature to get more on the guy's side, this is why they consider you a mammy. And really, men are going to see you like the bro. They are. Women are emotional. It's fine. It's okay. I know a lot of Black women in general have been told to be strong and to hold it all in. But you're a woman. You don't have to do that. Let your feelings show. A sisterhood, when you're single, is much better than to sit in front of a group of men who aren't trying to marry you. The guys that watch her aren't trying to marry her. She made a video before this on about her probably not ever getting married because I guess she's 30 and hitting the wall and whatever. And that's another thing listening to all that content will do to you. It'll have you thinking at 30 years old that no man in the world is going to want you. Despite the statistics that tell you that majority of people that marry here in the United States, no matter your race, no matter your income, are between the ages of 27 to 32. Majority of the time. Not even majority of the time, like on average. These relationships between 21-year-old girls and 40-year-old high value men aren't happening They happen like less than 1%. Marriages. Like what are these delusions the people in this space keep living under? He's telling you, as a woman, create a sisterhood, and then you will actually reach the audience of women you say you want. And she's like, no, I want to reach those women from talking like the guys do. I don't want to be emotional. I don't want to tap into that side of my female nature. I want to play the part to be as logical as possible, like a man, because I want male approval. I don't really want approval from women, because women are naturally emotional. We naturally, tend to wear our heart on our sleeves. We love romance. We love, we love feelings. We love feeling things. And it's okay. It's just who women are. And men who are incels and kind of mad at women and paint women to be the enemy hate that about us, which is why they don't have a woman, which is why they tend to get divorced, because they don't care about women's feelings. And a woman's feelings is a major part of who she is, whether you like it or not. What I've noticed about men who remain married and don't have chaotic, crazy households is they're actually very patient and they're understanding. And no, they're not a beta. No, they're not weak or emasculated either. They just understand that women and men aren't the same. And they don't place a expectation on their woman to act like the man. Now, of course, as a woman, you're emotional, but you have emotional maturity. You don't let your emotions ruin your life, but you do allow yourself to feel. You do allow yourself to articulate how you feel in a way that people can understand. So communication skills come in. Maturity as well comes in, obviously, along with emotional maturity, but maturity in just in general, not just with your emotions, but overall maturity. That is what sets women apart from the little girls. Discipline, maturity, and communication. Women like her, I guess, don't believe that that exists. I don't know. Maybe she hasn't been shown that example, which is just unfortunate. But instead, she'd rather get on the guy's side than to cultivate her femininity and her womanhood even more at her age of 30, to figure out how she can still feel and be emotional and use and not have to shut down her emotions completely. Instead, she still allows herself to feel, but she communicates very well. It's okay that you don't know how to do that, and it's okay that you want to learn how to do that. And that's basically what's going to need to happen if she wants to, create this type of sisterhood and get her message across to women. She's going to have to do the opposite of what she's saying she wants to do. She's going to have to be emotional. And that's kind of what he's telling her to do. Yes, be emotional. We don't want you to be logical like us as men. We want you to be emotional like a woman. We want to see the nuances in the conversation that a woman can offer. This is where the pick-me's go wrong. They try to be everything the man wants, and you need to be the woman you want to be. And the right man will come, the right man will get on with that.
It's like my subscribers are at 40,000. I have over 20% women. So if you do the math, that's like 8,000. Like take away the 32,000 men that's watching me, that's still 8,000 women I'm affecting. I'm impacting. That's still a significant number. I'm not trying to change the masses. No, let me finish it. I'm not trying to change the masses. I am not the second coming of Christ. I am not Jesus. And I've said this many, many times on my channel. So if it's just one girl, I can say, hey, prioritize dating and relationships. Maybe not go to school and get your degree for a useless, get student loan debt for a useless degree. Then I feel like I am very content with my channel and my mission. Like,
so you're talking to women who already believe what you believe.
No, I'm offering an alternative perspective. As I said, When I was 25, I thought my
Mhm.
only option was to go to school. I'm offering
Mhm.
an alternative perspective. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. I'm just having a
Mhm.
conversation to offer an alternative perspective. So
To
that's
who
why
is? But my question is like to who? Offering an
I was, I
alternative.
was
So like, are you talking to divestors? Are you talking to women
I'm
who have
talking
had
to
kids out of wedlock?
no, I'm
Are you
talking to
trying to
younger.
steer people
I'm
in the
talking
right
to younger
direction?
girls, young
Mhm.
girls, so they I'm transparent as possible so they don't repeat my mistake, right?
Mhm.
That's why the pushback that you have that is my channel is majority men does
Mhm.
not matter to me. The pushback that you have that I'm pandering to men, it does not matter. I could be pandering
Mhm.
all I want. Like I'm still telling young girls, don't have kids out of wedlock, don't go to
Mhm.
school and get a college degree.
He's sitting there like, got him. He's sitting there. She literally said, I don't care if I pander to men. I'll pander to men all that at once. At least I'm talking to 8,000 women out of 40,000 people subscribed. And his point is, why wouldn't you rather have 40,000 women or at least 38,000 women and 2,000 men? Why are you content with only having 8,000 women out of 32,000 men? This is why he doesn't think she's genuine. This is why he does believe she's pandering, because she's content with a primary male audience and doesn't want to do anything to change her audience to be majority women. Right? This is the pick me space. And this is why I'm saying, I'm just going to end it here because he ain't telling her. She doesn't get it. But what else is new, honestly? But this is what I'm saying is the issue between the two videos I showed you guys earlier, with Courtney Michelle and this girl I just had on, Chantel Simone. They're actually at odds, or they had a moment where they were at odds on a different panel, because Chantel Simone, I guess, or not Chantel Simone, Courtney Michelle is against black men leaving, and Chantel Simone is for it. So they were at odds about that. But in general, their two channels are completely different. Courtney Michelle is actually trying to teach femininity, at least in the clip that I showed. She was actually trying to bring to light how the black community does not know what femininity is. And she admits that it's taken her time to learn, but she understands it. And now she's trying to speak on it. And when she spoke on it on that panel, she had the vitriol, the clapbacks, people trying to say, no, none of that matters. It's about your weight and if you're a ride or die. And then you have Chantel Simone in this clip I just showed you guys, where you had a black man tell her basically, you need to be more feminine. You need to have an emotional component to your channel to attract more women. And she basically said no. She said she's basically going with the rhetoric of telling women to stay skinny, to find a man ASAP, and be the ride or die girl. And then that's, going to make you feminine, right? She doesn't want to talk about what it really means to be a woman, nurturing, kind hearted, being emotional, when to let a man lead, all of those things. She doesn't want to change her narrative to talk about that. Instead, she wants to bring up the problems with Black women, just like the men have been doing for years. She wants to use their talking points while claiming she's not at the same time. And then she also just admitted that she doesn't care if she's pandering or not, because at least she's talking to a minority of women. And she also admitted that she's not willing to change her message to attract a majority of women because she wants to keep on, you know, attracting men, apparently, because she doesn't want to do anything to not attract them anymore. So the Black community, in my opinion, doesn't welcome femininity. It doesn't welcome feelings. It doesn't welcome softness. You have to be able to take and understand that you need to be held accountable. You need to be beat down. You need to be so on the man's program that you forget your identity as a woman, that you forget your feminine being because you're so consumed with your Black man. that the elements of a woman is no longer valuable, right? And that is what Courtney Michelle said on the clip of her channel. And a lot of people also, if you're scrolling through the algorithms of that space, at least, a lot of people are calling Courtney out for reasons that I don't understand and or that I didn't understand, but now I get it. They're calling her out because she's starting to present more feminine stuff into her channel. This girl Chantel Simone is starting to present more male-centered stuff on her channel. And Chantel Simone is growing from Black men and other Black women too that are also lost in the sauce, in my opinion. Right? Because femininity is not attractive in the Black community. So if you're a Black woman who is feminine, who's ready to live the soft life, who's ready to, become better and cultivate, especially if you're a Black woman who's in your single season, I would not suggest the Black community is for you. If this is how it's going to be, it's not for you, which means, once again, you do need to divest. You need to open up your options. You need to swirl. You need to just, in general, date interracially. And even if you meet a Black man who is on the program, the Black community still isn't for y'all, in my opinion. Because over here, my channel is best man for the job. I don't really care who you date. Doesn't matter who you date at the end of the day. Who you are is who you are, period. But there are a lot of things being revealed in Black spaces on YouTube, these pro-Black spaces, Black love, Black family spaces that are not for true traditionalism. They are not for women being women. They are only for ride or dies. They are only for struggle. They are only for mammy. And if you don't, well, Black men can go overseas and find a woman in the slums of Thailand and Brazil and the Philippines, which is wild, right? So, that's what I've been seeing a lot of. And I wanted to come on here and talk about it because femininity, even in BWE and femininity spaces, the definition of it is getting crazy. There are BWE content creators who think femininity is about having a man, and it's because they've been probably listening to the manosphere. If you have been listening to true feminine woman here on YouTube, I don't know how you can get that it's about a man. Okay. On my community tab, I've posted plenty of femininity channels that don't talk about having a man at all. It's all about who you are, your routine, showing how you show up as a woman. So many things, right? So many things. And there's going to be, well, there already is a serious waking up that's going on amongst Black women that are tired of the struggle life. They're not settling for this anymore. They're not trying to listen to Black women like Chantel Simone tell them how fat they are. And if they gain weight, you're going to hit the wall and it's over. Like, nobody wants to hear trying to be better. And you had a Black man come on her channel to tell her to stop being a damn pick-me and create a sisterhood if you really care about Black women. And she flat out sat there and told him no. And that she would rather talk to a majority men than minority women because she doesn't want to get emotional. She's a woman, and he's basically telling her, like, I can see on his face and just through the things he's already saying to her, like, how as a woman are you against being emotional? You're a woman. Men are logical. Let them remain logical. Why do you need to join that side? He's basically telling her, like, we don't want women joining our side because you don't get it. Like, what in the world? She's not feminine, to be honest. If she wants to neglect the emotional side and have logical conversations, like what type of stuff? What are you talking about? Really, what are we talking about here? What are we really talking about here? Like, you're not talking about femininity and being a woman if you can't acknowledge feelings and show them yourself and understand that feelings are okay. Men are the ones who are most likely, and understandably so, going to hate feelings. They are logical. They want to make decisions based off of the truth and structure and all of that. Us women come on in the room and offer the soft side. And Chantel Simone told that man, I don't want to do that. I want to keep my channel telling the truth, point blank, blunt. F your feelings, F all of that. This is a problem with Black women and what needs to happen, or else you're going to hit the wall. Total, like, mean girl vibes. Total mean girl vibes is how she wants to run her channel and expects to help other Black women. Not going to happen. And he's telling her, this isn't what you should be doing. You need to create a sisterhood. Stop worrying about a bunch of men that don't really give a damn about you. They just like the fact that you're females, telling them what they want to hear, dressed in pink. That's all they care about. They don't care about you or your plight or what worries you at night or what excites you in the morning. They don't care. Right? Anti says Courtney got rejected physically by the manosphere. Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of Courtney's content. I mean, I came across that video, but I can believe it. She's receiving a lot of stuff from people over there, and I'm not saying I'm going to start watching her either, cuz she's still she's still got some other things going on now, but I think she is on point with femininity in that particular clip that I showed about listing it as the qualities of who a woman is. That has nothing to do with having a man. If you have a man, cool. If you don't have a man, fine. If you're a dress size 4 or dress size 14, doesn't matter. Like, the qualities of femininity are what they are. If you embody that, then that's what it is. Teresa said the Black community is anti-Black women. I hope all Black women wake up to that fact. Exactly. The Black community is anti-Black women. I believe it. They're especially anti-soft Black women. They are pro-struggle, especially in Black women. That's the only part of pro anything to do with Black women I could say in this community is pro-struggling, pro-struggle, pro-mammy. That's the only type of pro-Black woman anything I can think of for this community, particularly for these men who think like this. They don't want real women. They want guys with vaginas. That's what I really think the men in the red pill space want. Moms that they can date and marry and be with, and or guys with vaginas. Honestly, they don't want real women because they criticize and reject the real nature of one. Like, just I can't believe I just can't believe that clip. Like, I can't believe you had a Black man go on a pick me channel and tell her stop being a pick me, make content that makes Black women feel like this is a sisterhood, and she said no. Oh my God. And she even said, oh, you're not the average robber. Like, you're not the man who's scheming and scamming and hurting people. Basically calling him, like, a quality Black man. And as that quality Black man trying to tell her what she needs to do. And she's like, nope. It's like, okay, do you really want to be with a Black man then? Because he's telling you what you need to do. You're not doing it. You don't want to date out. You don't want to listen when this quality Black man is trying to give you some pointers and tips to help you meet your goals. And you also are advocating for men that could be like him, even better or worse than him, going overseas. So who does that leave you with? As a woman who, according to the standards of the manosphere that you love to repeat after, you're 30, you've hit the wall, you have a master's degree, I guess, which is also a negative to them. What's in this space for you? You like that whole clip was about him letting her know you don't gain anything here. You're not gaining um the reward of helping Black women out. You're definitely not gaining a man if you're telling them to go overseas to be with Filipino women, and you're not gaining um you're not gaining like a husband here because of your age and all this other crap. Like, you're not gaining anything. And towards the end of it, she said that at the end of the day, I don't care. I don't care if I'm a pick me. I don't care if I pander. At least I talk to 8,000 women out of 40,000 subscribers. So therefore, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Deal with it. And I'm doing it all without having to be emotional. Like, that's a flex. And once again, Black women have been programmed to be the strong Black woman, which means we'd have to put our feelings and emotions aside. But that is part of being a woman. It's being emotional. It's having feelings. It's being able to communicate and articulate those feelings properly and not letting your feelings ruin your life or control your life, but you feel them. They are there. You let people know what you said really hurt me. What you said really disappointed me. You cry when you feel you need to cry as well. You don't try, and at the end of the day, however it is you do it, you don't try to man up when you know it's killing you inside. You don't try to man up. Once again, you don't cause destruction and burn everything down either, but you let it be known. You don't reject yourself. And she wants to reject her emotional side in order to continue making her content, and then really believing that her logic is going to appeal to women who are feminine and in their emotional being. And then he also asked her, well, are you attracting swirlers to your channel, to divestors? I mean, if you're really trying to change the perspective of Black women, are you attracting those Black women on YouTube to your channel? She's like, no. So then he was like, okay, then you're attracting Black women who think like you. Like, you're not doing any changes. Those 8,000 Black women that are subscribed to you think just like you. So you're not doing anything. Like, child. Mocha Mommy says, pick meism is lucrative. Yes, it's very lucrative. It's so lucrative. Like, she did not care what he had to say about her channel. She was not trying to change her way of doing things. She said, I'm going to keep talking like I'm one of the boys in the manosphere. Because I'm trying to hit this lick. I'm trying to cash this check. Like, I'm trying to have YouTube retire me. So I'm going to talk bad about these Black women. I'm going to make myself seem like I'm the cream of the crop to these incels. And I'm going to take their money and do it again tomorrow. I don't care to really help anybody. I don't care if I'm pandering. I don't care if I'm a pick me. I don't care to be genuine. I don't care if you think it or not. I'm growing, and I'm going to continue growing by going where the conversation is. So if it's to save yourself, Black men, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it all by saying I care about the Black community. Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Anti says that is what it is. 500 super chats for dangerous talking points. Exactly. 500 very dangerous talking points that she gives on her channel. And she just reinforces the vitriol Black men have for Black women because she continues to post imagery of Black women looking their worst. Images on my channel, images on like Mocha Mommy's channel, and just so many other Black women on here are images of Black women happy, doing things, having fun, figuring things out, and just, creating a good life for themselves. I'm not showing Black women on my channel who are like post-op with their bonnet on, laying in bed all day or something. Like, I'm not posting those types of pictures, not because I think they're problematic, because they are a reality. There are Black women who do that stuff and all that. But I want to post Black women who are just exuding their happiest state. Because sometimes in those pictures, the Black women in those pictures don't look like they're very happy. They look like they're struggling, getting by, trying to survive. And I want to show Black women who have graduated from that state. They've graduated from surviving. They've graduated from the misery and the struggle. Because that's what it's about. It's about leveling up and being better. So I'm going to show those better images. And he's telling her to do that, and she doesn't want to do it. She wants to keep pointing out the negativity, which is going to promote the vitriol a lot of these Black men have for Black women. And that's when it becomes dangerous. That's when it becomes freaking dangerous. Right? Anti says she's paid to be unmarried. Yeah, she is paid to be unmarried. She certainly is. She's paid to be unmarried and to keep talking crap about single women, modern women who are mothers, taking care of their kids on their own at that. And then the crazy part is all those men who watch her, 32,000 men watch her and don't want to marry. Imagine having 32,000 men see your face whenever you upload a picture, and not one is offering to take you out. Not one is saying, "Hey, I'm in your city. I watch your channel and I love everything you say. I'm in your city. Do you want to meet for coffee?" And maybe he sends you his picture, or he says, "Do you want to FaceTime?" I mean, I know it's, things can be, but in general, like, just the offer. I'm not saying you got to go with random men who send you emails, but I'm saying just the offering. I mean, if you're really worried about being married, improving the Black community, like, what? And I was watching another video with her on a panel. This was a while ago. And a Black man from the manosphere actually asked her, like, why aren't you married? Like, you have all these people, all these men watching you, sending you super chats. You're not an ugly woman. Why aren't you married? You have, like, what's going on? And she was like, well, I have somebody. That was like a month or so ago. But then a few days before that other video, she posted, I may not ever get married. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there's no way I could post anything or do anything, even if it's not online, even in real life. And I have an audience where there is majority of men in front of me at the podium or whatever. And I'm talking about marriage, and I'm saying I would love to be married. I'd love to be a wife. And I'm in front of 32,000 men, and none of them want to marry. None of them pull me aside afterwards. I mean, high quality men at that. Like, I would be like, okay, something is wrong here. Like, something is wrong here. Oh my God. Something is really wrong. That's all I wanted to say, guys. It's been 2.5 hours. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're a first-time listener. I'll talk to you, ladies, in the next one.